What I'm about to tell you might be the most important crypto move of the decade. I hope I got your attention. Apple. Yeah. Not the apple you eat, Apple the company. You know they integrated the XRP ledger, right? Or excuse me, they integrated Ripple's interledger technology into Apple Pay. You know that, right? And if you actually understand what that means, you know exactly what kind of shockwave is about to hit global finance. This isn't a rumor. This is code level confirmation. We got the receipts, don't you worry. Ripple's tech inside the world's biggest consumer payment ecosystem. But here's the wild part. This connects directly to what's happening across the entire financial system. We're talking about crypto.com filing for a national trust bank charter. We're talking about Michael Saylor talking about a $200 trillion Bitcoin market cap. And we're talking about Wall Street titans like Morgan Stanley getting ready to go full crypto. Apple didn't flip the switch by accident. They flipped it because the rails of money, they're changing. And XRP, guess what? It is sitting at the center of it. Stay locked in because by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly how the pieces all fit together and why the next wave of crypto adoption, it's not coming, folks. It is already here. And we're going to start with this. Crypto.com, they just applied for a national trust bank charter. This isn't just another license. This is a full-scale move into the US banking system. Now think about that for a second. A crypto exchange applying to operate like a federal bank. That's like the final frontier. On-ramp digital assets directly into the traditional financial grid. Now tie that to what Ripple's doing. Ripple already works with banks, doesn't work against them. They built trust, they built infrastructure, and they built real liquidity corridors. So when you see crypto.com and Ripple both aligning with the same institutional framework, both going after this banking license, banking charter, you are looking at the exact blueprint of the next banking system. This is how crypto becomes invisible. It's no longer crypto versus banks. That narrative is gone. It's crypto inside of banks. And guess what powers those cross-rail payments? The interledger protocol, XRP, and tokenized liquidity. And then we get this, Michael Saylor's out there and he's like, look, Bitcoin's market cap's going to 20 trillion, then 200 trillion. Let that sink in for a second. It sounds crazy, but Bitcoin at $1 hitting 100K, that sounded crazy as well. And here we are. Now with Bitcoin, the digital gold goes to even 1/10 of that. XRP just doesn't go to $5 or $10. It goes into institutional grade territory. Listen to Saylor here.
Bitcoin is not competing with the dollar. It's competing with international real estate, global equities, expensive money managers on Wall Street, and any long-range investment that somebody makes. And so right now we're about $2 trillion in Bitcoin. It's going to 20 trillion, then it's going to 200 trillion, then it's growing 20% a year. And that capital is coming from overseas. It's coming from China, from Russia, from Europe, from Africa, from Asia, from the 20th century to the 21st century. So what's compelling about it is if the United States takes a position in the emerging crypto economy, if it buys up 10, 20% of the Bitcoin network, we're going to pay off the national debt. And so why wouldn't that be in the interest of the United States?
Well, he's right. It would be pay off the national debt, but why do just Bitcoin? Remember, Bitcoin might be the store of value. That's cool and all, but XRP, that's your store of liquidity. So when 200 trillion of capital needs to move instantly, XRP, that's your bridge to make it possible. So when Saylor's here talking about scaling, he's not just pumping Bitcoin. He is indirectly confirming the size of the on-chain liquidity networks that need to exist alongside it. That's Ripple's lane. It's not Bitcoin's lane. And if you've been watching carefully, every move from Apple to Morgan Stanley, it's lining up in that exact direction. Now, folks, if you didn't sign up for the newsletter, make sure you sign it up. It is down below every single video. It's free. Hit join, put your email address in, you get a confirmation email back. You need to accept that and say you want in. Unsubscribe anytime you want, but it is 100% free. And if you are looking to book a call, now is your time to do it. These calls are structured to you 30 minutes or 60 minutes. Me and you, one-on-one, talking about your tax advantages, your crypto setup as a company, what you need to do, how to get there, because everyone should be running their crypto through a business. You don't want to go through your personal. There's a lot of reasons for that. Call. The best investment is an investment in yourself, everyone, which we move over to this Chainlink's co-founder right here, Sergey. He just said in illiquid finance in crypto, it is low, way lower than in TradeFi. And he's right. Why? Well, it's simple. Blockchain is transparent, it's immutable, and it's auditable. You can't hide money on a ledger that shows every transaction. But here's the power move. Everyone thinks that Ripple and Chainlink are competitors. You know they're not, right? They're partners. They are co-conspirators in the new system. Remember the difference here. Ripple moves value. Chainlink, they move data. Together, they create a self-verifying global network. Money and information flowing as one. Listen to Sergey here.
I think it's just a big worry that people have had about our industry for a long time, that any increase in our industry might result in more illicit finance. And the reality is that the percentage of illicit finance in our industry is actually very low. The numbers that I heard quoted was 0.1 to 0.5% of the industry, whereas in the banking sector, it's like 1 to 5%. And then also there's a lot of mechanisms to make sure illicit finance doesn't happen in our industry. So actually, I think if our industry became, the blockchain technology became the leading source of banking operations and money transmission operations, you'd actually see a massive reduction in illicit finance, not an increase. And I think that's the thing that people need to understand.
It's spot on here. And look, that's why central banks are paying attention. They want companies like Apple and financial giants who are building around these protocols, not outside of these protocols, right? And then we see this, and I'll blow it up. Let's talk markets, because while everyone is out there screaming recession, NASDAQ and the S&P, they both just hit brand new all-time highs. You know what happens next, right? Historically, when equities break new highs, Bitcoin follows. And if Bitcoin runs altcoin liquidities, it follows right behind it. It's wild that people are still bearish when every single macro indicator is screaming risk on. We got record highs, we got record liquidity, and we got global institutions who are quietly accumulating. They're not warning you. They are positioning ahead of you. And that's the part that most retail investors are missing here. You got to think about that for a second. Just take a step back. And then we got the big dogs coming in. $9 trillion Morgan Stanley. They just announced that they will be offering Bitcoin and crypto trading in 2026. You realize what that means, right? Your bags, the ones that you have been patiently holding through the bear market, they're about to get marketed by Wall Street itself. Wall Street's not here for fun. They're here for fees and control. They're going to make money. Wall Street's going to make a crap ton of money in crypto. That means they're going to make sure that the bull run, the next bull run, the bull run that we're in, I should say, that it's way too big to ignore. Every ad you see, every headline, every CNBC panel, they're all going to be talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, name the crypto in there. And the narrative, it's going to flip overnight. You're early. They're just now setting up the infrastructure to actually join the party. And then we get this. We got President Trump out here said he is working on clear and simple market frameworks to make America dominate crypto. Now's the time. Now is the time to do it. That's code for we're done fighting it. We are now regulating it to own it. Listen.
One at the Coinbase State of Crypto Summit. I'm delighted to speak to some of the greatest visionaries and pioneers in the fields of tech and finance who are working to build a future powered by crypto. Many have called me the first crypto president. That's an honor. I really do consider that a very big honor, actually. And starting on day one, we ended the Biden administration's war on crypto. It was an absolute war and very unfair. And we unleashed American innovators to do what you do best, lead the world into new frontiers. We ended Operation Choke Point 2.0. I created the first presidential working group on digital assets. I named a pro-freedom, pro-innovation SEC chair, a great man named Paul Atkins, and we created the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve and the United States digital asset stockpile. But we are not done yet. My administration is working with Congress to pass the Genius Act, supporting the creation of dollar-backed stablecoins. And we also will be working to create clear and simple market frameworks that will allow America to dominate the future of crypto and Bitcoin. Congratulations to everyone.
This is the flip, everyone. Once clarity hits, the floodgates open wide open and all that liquidity comes rushing in. And the same institutions who once hesitated, they have permission to go all in. Combine that with Morgan Stanley's move, with the NASDAQ highs, with Apple and Ripple's integration that we're about to get into, and you realize this all isn't random. This is your synchronized play. And here we go. We're going to date back because this is going to set us up for where we are going next. This is the bombshell you've been waiting for. Apple, the most valuable company on earth. They have officially integrated Ripple's Interledger protocol into its payment request API. This means one thing: Apple Pay with native multi-asset payment compatibility. Interledger connects different ledgers, USD, crypto, central bank digital currencies, tokenized assets, all into one frictionless network. No middleman, no conversion errors, no waiting. This is exactly what Ripple's been building for years. And now Apple, with 1.5 billion active devices, they just gave it mainstream reach overnight. Apple didn't need to partner with Ripple directly. They adopted the open source Interledger standard, backed by Ripple's tech. That's massive validation right there. Apple Pay was already convenient. Now it's becoming borderless. And guess what's sitting under the roof? The same liquidity layer that Ripple designed to power global transfers. Which brings us to this, which we talked about in the last video. Epic is officially part of the Apple Developer Program. That means that Epic has direct access to over 1.5 billion Apple devices, and they're focusing on, guess what? Payments, liquidity, and financial UX. Read between the lines, everyone. This is the next generation of financial apps built on top of Ripple-style infrastructure. This isn't a crypto adoption anymore. This is financial integration happening at scale. The world's largest tech ecosystems, Apple, Epic, Ripple, all of them are quietly syncing to build the new rails for the digital economy. And if you've been following XRP, Chainlink, even Bitcoin this long, you already know what comes next, folks. Apple flipped the switch. Ripple built the rails, and the world's biggest players, from banks to tech giants, are now all aligning under one roof and one single truth, right? Blockchain. That's the future of money. We're watching the great consolidation happen in real time. Traditional finance, it's not dying. Traditional finance is upgrading, and those who understood this early, we're not speculating anymore. We are very well positioned. So stay sharp out there. I want you to stay early. And if you're still sleeping on XRP after this, you might wake up in a world where every transaction from your iPhone to your bank runs through Ripple's rails. I hope you enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. I'll see all y'all on the next one.